You were one hypothetically poor motherfucker.
I have,
you're walking out of this like the most mentally well, right?
Yeah. Everyone's like, I got $1 million, but I'm fucked now.
I said the same thing as you. I couldn't give up video games. Thinking I'd rather try and commit murder.
I am. Feel free to check me out at onlydaddies.com.
Yeah, that does it. I've heard this enough times. I am seeing Only Daddies as a real thing.
Welcome everybody to the Skull Hunter Podcast. This podcast is brought to you by Anchor, your all-in-one platform in needs. They sponsored the audio podcast. Thank you guys so much. Today, we have a special theme. We're doing $1 million, but now we'll just talk about random things. $1 million, but thank you, Rooster Teeth, for the idea. You guys are great. Thank you guys so much. But join us today. We have a returning member. Charles has came back after the Snickers. Yeah, Charles is back. He got his Snickers and now he's here. We also got Funker and Joseph. Yay.
Hate Snickers.
I guess someone didn't watch the podcast then. If anyone was confused in last week's podcast, the Would You Rather themed podcast, I said Charles wasn't here because I offered him a Snickers or the podcast, and he took the Snickers. It was pretty early on, so that just proves how much Charles worked, because it just got released today, so I don't expect any of us to listen to it. I don't listen to the podcast until, like, Friday, and I'm like, oh, that was fucking I wish I would have remembered that. I'll literally listen to it after, like, it's been out for 5 days going, we're kind of funny. This kind of works.
Yeah, I usually put our podcast on the my playlist of, like, when I'm, like, at the gym or something like that, just so I have something to listen to.
Dude, I feel I've been listening to it while, like, I'm driving, doing some dashing and stuff like that. I've just been kicking it on, listening to it as I'm driving. I'm just like, this is nice. We're actually kind of funny. And that's just so weird, like, because it's like a week or two behind. I actually almost forget the conversation. And dude, our episode 70 podcast with Firefly was the fucking funniest thing I listened to in so long. I was picking Brittany up, and I lost it so much. I just started laughing profusely. I'm just like, this is fucking stupid. And then our comebacks, and then Joseph's text on screen to the three of us making motions without saying anything. Just the boys being the boys doing like this, and it's like, oh, and it's like, it's fucking all the hand gestures. If you haven't seen the video podcast, highly recommend doing that. That was a very, very fun episode to do. But I fucking loved that episode. So far, favorite episode I've done. Like, I think at this point, that one is up top, and then the hot ones is, like, right below it. But they're the
that would have been my pick.
Doing.
Yeah, the hot one still is.
It would have been more believable that I was gone trying to live my dream being a real-life Pokemon master, Jordan. Since I play so much Pokemon.
Well, listen, you got stuck with the Snickers, motherfucker, so just wait. Funker won't be here in a week or two for a podcast, and no, he's going to be dropping out then, and I can't wait for you guys to hear his reasons. Just a warning, it involves an angel. It involves a little crispy angel. By the way, I would like to point out to the Funker's screen, it looks like someone's standing beside you.
Oh yeah.
It's just this demon creature.
It's my father slowly judging me.
Oh, dude, I feel that. We should like talk sometime, because my dad is like
Hashtag daddy issues.
Into asphyxiation.
Yep, that's it. Oh man, but no, it's great. I also love everyone's screens. There's just something to see. Charles has like a cat's tail in his screen. I have colors. Joseph is sharp, and Funker has daddy watching him. Now, I heard some boys already had one, so we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna do $5 million butt questions. Maybe we might do some more, but there's just 5 guarantees. If you guys have an opinion, leave them in the comments. But let's start off with you, Joseph. What do you got for $1 million butt question?
All right, this is the warm up. This is the warm up one.
Okay.
$1 million, but you gotta give up video games. Sports are okay. Card games are fine. D&D is fine, but there cannot be any electricity involved with your gaming henceforth.
Ooh, that's a tough one. Because my career is gaming, but I also feel like it's something I could give up because I love board games. I love card games. But the thing that makes video games so convenient is I could be separated from you guys, have a good time with you guys, and not have to drive 6 hours out of my way to see one person for 20 minutes and drive 6 hours back. So, I don't know. You know what? I'm gonna say no. It's not worth it. I love video games too much.
I think I could take the $1 million, but that would just mean I would be playing a whole lot of Vampire the Masquerade again, like live action, because I used to do that all the time before I really got into like hardcore video games again. Like I was into video games when I was a kid, but like when I became an adult, I started going out to the bar and I was like, oh, I can like drink and play like role play games, yeah. But then I got into video games again, and I was like, So yeah, but I could do it. But I would definitely be doing a whole lot of board games, like on a regular basis.
The same. Like they're a lot of fun. Charles, did you answer? Did you say yes or no?
I said the same thing as you. I couldn't give up video games. Freaking, I'd rather try and freaking commit murder.
I love how one person's answer is just, I would rather commit mass homicide than sit there and go my life without video games.
Just sitting there unalive, people. That's it.
Gamers for life! So, only $1 million Richard here would be Funker, so congratulations, $1 million. Now,
I didn't answer the question.
Oh, you won't give up video games?
No, I would do it. Because the stipulation is Magic the Gathering and all these other things that I can get into. And I think in order to really start the new chapter of a person's life, something has to change, right? Something's got to give. And I just think about like, okay, of all the games that I would be giving up, the hardest one would actually be a mobile game that I've been playing nonstop for like 3 years. That's going to suck, but that $1 million would enable so many things that I can replace it with that I feel like, you know what? It's a sacrifice, but I think I can do it.
Okay.
I actually thought of some reason why I would actually give up video games for $1 million. If I was actually able to see wrestling into race events, and if I could still actually collect video games, like faking as collectibles, and if I could able to use that money to collect more wrestling figures.
You're allowed to play your own video game if you make it. So if you become a game developer, and because it's like, well, it's for testing. I got to play my own game for testing.
No,
I'm not playing it.
Think
I'm
you can
testing
allow
it.
that. Because that's a massive loophole. Because then all you have to do is just use that $1 million, pay someone X amount of money, and say, "Okay, I'm making this game. I have to test it. I have to test it." And then
you really put all your $1 million into being able to play now one game?
Well, not all $1 million, but all you have to do is pay someone like $5,000.
If you want it to be good, or like you got to put some
well, yeah,
money
but
marketing costs.
Yeah, 5,000 isn't even going to be enough. You're going to need $1 million for any company to be like, you want like a percentage of this?
Yeah.
Because you're going to have to figure out a way to do that. Because if you don't, you're going to get maybe 1, 2, 3 games that you're going to be the only ones you ever play again the rest of your life. Not worth it.
That's fair. Yeah, I mean, okay, so 2 of us are $1 million richer. I'll also
take that $1 million and make do my own take on the freaking Halo show, and it would probably be better than that shit Paramount did.
Yeah, but then you wouldn't be able to play any more Halo games. You would have to sit there and literally ask someone else to play Halo and do all this Halo stuff, just so you can make a show better. Like that would be the worst part.
You can still watch streamers, right? You can still watch other people play.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I feel like that's A-okay still, but I don't know. It's not the same. Like, I could watch people play, like, 7 Days to Die, but if I'm playing 7 Days to Die, it's much different. I get that feel. I get that rush, that everything.
So moving on. I got one. So this is another Warner
Brothers! Rooster Teeth. Okay.
So $1 million.
But
you can never spend that money on things you actually want.
Done.
So, like insurance. Like
No,
what do I do get to spend it on? Like save it for if I get litigated. Well, I want my freedom, right? So maybe I can't spend it on that. Like, how does
No,
this?
like you have to pay bills and stuff because everyone doesn't want. Unless you like paying bills, it doesn't really count. But like you can't buy like let's say, oh, you got $1 million. I want to buy this video game. I want to do this. I want to spend money in this and make mixed things that basically make you happy. I should say.
So okay, so am I allowed to pay rent with it?
Yep.
But I want to live here, so like.
I think okay. I know it's his, but I'm just gonna say I think like it's pretty much like, hey, I really want a new computer. You can't buy it. I really want this game. You can't buy it. I
Can't be spent on fun.
Can't buy
I think
it.
is what you're getting at.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So go ahead.
I can still do it. I can do
real
it.
quick and just reword it.
So
like that.
$1 million,
But
but you can't spend it on things that are fun.
fuck you, Disney World. New Space Mountain, more like nothing.
I guess I'm going to Epcot.
See now, I gotta
Epcot is
ask.
actually pretty dope. It gets a bad rap.
I gotta ask then, because in my situation, I don't buy anything for myself, and especially if I don't enjoy it, but I enjoy giving money to others. So would I still be allowed to like do it in prizes or give people money or give away money?
Seems
like
fun.
that? I couldn't do that.
Nope.
You're doing it for fun.
No, I couldn't do it. I would love to say I could, but I love giving back, and that means like, yeah, that's cool. $1 million. I'm not gonna but I would invest it so that $1 million would make me more. That means I still can't do it after that.
Nope.
So it's like, what's the point? I'm not taking it.
Because you become a billionaire.
Exactly. And then I can't spend a single dollar of that because it came from the $1 million. So and then it would fight that. No, I'll be poor. I'm not taking it. No. I love giving away money to hell. It goes to show in our upcoming video at Scott that I just love giving away money apparently. So
How many more times are you going to talk about you love giving away money before, as your editor, I have to talk to you about receiving money for services rendered?
I gave you money. That's how you have the nice lighting. I gave you that.
Yeah, you got me on that one. You did give me $20.
No, 40.
Okay.
Yeah.
You wonder why people.
I had to do my
Totally.
taxes.
You're totally absolved. Yeah, we're definitely even.
And you wonder why people think you're Mr. Beast, Jordan.
I mean, yeah, because I got a big dick. Hey, what about you guys? Would you take the money?
I mean, as long as I'd be able to use
Yeah.
it to get my own house, then I would.
Yeah, it'd be nice to know, like, food and rent and utilities and internet and all that stuff is covered. And then I just go out and make my fun money.
Okay. I'm still the
Sucking
brokest one
dick
here.
there. See, I could do those kinds of jokes too.
So and then, Funker, you never said if you would take it.
That would be a no because I would have a bad habit of wanting to buy something nice, but I'm also like you. When I have stuff like money to give, I tend to give it to my friends, and if I'm not able to help people with money that I have, it's gonna make me feel terrible. So I can't do it.
Thank you. I love the group of people I've brought together. It's like it's people that aren't selfish pieces of shit. Yeah, I love it. I absolutely love. No, like I really do. Like you see friend groups and people are just like
completely misjudged my character. I'm a huge selfish piece of shit.
Oh, dude, your acting is wow. Your acting skills, dude, Grammy right now.
He's also only here because he's the editor.
He's just waiting for that one big payday, that $10 crisp bill sent to his house. Oh yeah, perfect.
If I had $1 million, I'd be able to pay Joseph to help me make a whole animation.
Oh yeah, but we don't have $1 million. That's
And you could probably afford someone like way better at it.
yeah. You could pay $20 and get
Yeah,
a guy who's
but
very
that's not the
fucking good.
point. The point is like supporting like one of the guys, and
That's true. That's
and you just say way better. It just takes time for you to get better, and then you become fantastic, and then you'll be a rich prick.
Yeah.
Oh man.
And then you'd be too good for us, and then we'll just move on from there.
I would hate that if that happened. Honestly,
Yeah.
I would hate to like see any part of my lifestyle is no longer like something that I can do. You know what I mean? Like if I can't like because I get this piece of advice because the TikTok algorithm is sharing a lot of like writers now, right? Fantasy authors, stuff like that. And one piece of advice that was given out is, let's say that your book does well, right? You're making enough money that you probably don't need a full-time job. You definitely still want to get one, because the idea of actually spending 40 hours just like writing will drive a person insane. So if it goes well, which I'm hoping and making considerable efforts to do, I would still love to continue doing background acting, right? Because I can just sit in holding for hours at a time and work on the next novel. Do I need the money? No, but the difference of being able to be there is more like a lifestyle choice and less of a necessity is a totally different ballgame that I'd love to experience.
Now I did. Yeah. Who else hasn't answered?
He hasn't.
Just remember, everybody's windows are different. So you're pointing to, from my point of view, you're pointing to like.
Show where you were pointing again.
I pointed that way.
Actually, that's fucking spot on for the video podcast.
Jordan.
That was spot on.
Charles.
Fogert nailed it. Like for me, it's doing this, and then so I could just sit there and tell Charles to look up, and I'd just be like, "Yay!" like that.
If Charles is there, Jordan's here, then he's below me.
Ah, you lost it. Charles, would you take the $1 million except you can't buy anything fun?
I'll just take that. If I couldn't buy anything fun besides getting my own house and whatever, they could just pay for stuff for that and everything, and just take care of dog and stuff. I'll just take that $1 million and start my own business.
See, everyone has like reasonable things. I'm just like, no, giving away money. It's not fun, but it's like, I don't know, like making people compete for a prize, especially when a prize that I have to give away to now. That I will admit, though, by the way, fun fact: me, Funker, and a few other boys filmed a video this week, and it was a ton of fun recording, ton of fun. But some of us didn't hit the record button. Now I hit the record button. I hit the record button. Funker hit the record button.
I hit the record button.
No, you didn't.
You don't know that.
So 3 out of the 5 people hit the record button. Here's the problem: the people I really needed the footage to didn't hit the record button. So we get it all filmed. A winner was announced. Like we filmed it all. Winner announced. Fun times. So like, okay, guys, awesome. Appreciate you guys taking the time for this. I feel like I need to ask this. Did everyone hit the record button? I did. Were we supposed to hit it? It's a recording session! Yes! You're supposed to hit the fucking record button! So, immediately, everyone's now just going, I thought we did it. What do we do now? Do we retake stuff? Do we do this? And I was like, no. And then one guy's like, hey, don't even worry about it. Let's just restart. Let's just start it all over again.
Dude, that second time though, oh my god, I hated life.
We can't spoil too much because it's gonna be a banger video. Like it just anyone that watches it is gonna watch it going, this is actually great. But there's so much of stuff that I can't put in the video, but there's so much stuff that's gonna be put in the video. But so after we get everyone together to go again, we go again, everyone's hitting record button, we're going through. This second attempt was no joke, completely different than the first time. Different energy, different feel, different style. Like some things were kind of repeated in a sense. Like obviously I had to announce like the prize that was be given away. So I did that, and I found a new way to ask people to subscribe because statistically, if you ask someone to do one thing, they're gonna do it. If you ask them to do like, comment, and subscribe, they're not gonna do it. They're not gonna trust you. They're not gonna hit the button. But if you ask them to do one fucking thing, you're more likely to get them to actually do the one thing. So I'm like, fit in a whatever you want.
Yeah, it's almost like you want to do campaigns where like first you're just trying to get everybody to subscribe to it, and then later on you do like a like campaign. It's like, everybody, we really need likes on these videos, so please, take
it's like if you ask
2 seconds it takes to click the like button.
Yeah, if you ask somebody to do one thing, they're more than likely gonna end up doing it, especially if it's something
for those
like.
of us listening to this podcast, subscribe. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe to our Patreon.
Whoa! Just do one. Watch to the end.
And Joseph and his ASMR voice.
So I'm not gonna say like what part of it, but I will say that video you guys are gonna want to watch because there was at the very end, we were standing there doing this fucking challenge
Yeah.
for what, 5 minutes?
Dude, it got
nonstop?
intense. Like, he's
And
not
then
joking.
when
It got intense.
But then we stopped, and I lost like motion, like and I fucked up twice. They gave me a chance, and I fucked up twice, and I was so pissed.
There was literally, so we don't have to explain too much because it's gonna come out and it's gonna be great. But there was this point where I told the people, you can let them have a slide, but it's up to you. You can decide who wins and who loses here. So it leaves the pressure off of me, and it puts the pressure on other people, obviously. So I make sure to do that. I'm like, guys, you can give him another chance. They're like, guys, give him another chance. No joke. 5 seconds go by, everyone's standing up on their chairs. 5 seconds go by after getting him a chance, and he fucks it. And I'm standing, I'm hitting my head on the wall. I'm like,
Oh my god, it was so terrible. And it was all because like we got into the motion, and then when we stopped, I forgot what button was to do what.
yeah, it
And
was, dude, it was.
twice.
This was a Dead by Daylight
Yeah.
video, right?
Yes.
It was a Dead by Daylight.
okay.
It was, so what I like to do in a lot of the challenge videos I do is I like to really change the game up instead of it being, you guys are playing Dead by Daylight. Fuck Dead by Daylight. The game shouldn't make the content. It should be the content creator to make the content. So I say, it's the base. Dead by Daylight's the base. So whatever I do with that, it's my originality with it. So Dead by Daylight's the layer, and I'm building everything for the video. So, like, one of the challenges we did in the past were, like, Simon Says. Another one, we did a hide and seek video. That's not Dead by Daylight. Dead by Daylight is do gens, loop the killer, cleanse totems, escape.
But also, guys, if you guys want to check this out, be sure to check it out on Skull Hunter Gaming on YouTube. Guarantee you'll have it on TikTok as well. So be sure to follow that.
I'm over there going, like, have it on what? Because I need to remember this. Promoting my channel. But it was a fucking blast. The one...
I had a great time, regardless of me looking like a jack.
Dude, everyone had a great time, and I feel like so bad I wasn't able to get some people in the video, but then like every time I do one of these videos, everyone's like, "How? When?"
I just want to say that I was
Next time.
attacked. Two people.
You weren't attacked.
Two people hated my character with a passion, and they're like, "Nothing against you, Funker, but."
You're gonna fucking
You're
die, and then
Pinhead,
they
right?
gave you a chance. That was
They
the worst
did.
part. They
Did
gave
they
you
hate
a
Pinhead
chance
because they hate
after.
Hellraiser, or just Pinhead is like a frustrating?
Actually, he wasn't allowed to play the killers. He was
Yeah.
only able to play a little bitch ass survivor, and he
You're gonna have to check out the video to see who it was.
but it was a great time, and I absolutely love doing those kind of videos. But the reason why I wanted to make sure to bring it up was because we're talking about like giving away money and stuff. Is so the one guy who won the first one that wasn't recorded. I don't fake content, so I'm like, no, you're gonna win something. Like it's you won fair and square, and everyone was like, dude, you don't have to. And I was like, no, I'm gonna do it. And then the person won the actual one that's gonna be the video. Then they sit there, and another person won. They're like, dude, you don't have to, give it to this person instead. Other guy's like, no, you don't have to. Don't even worry about it, dude. I'm like, you're going to get something. And so it's like, I hate it because it puts you in a situation where you look like an ass for having the extra money you can give away to a person. But then it's like, oh, fuck. But now I have to do it to 2 people. And so it's just gifted subs. So it's not as big of like a, oh my God. But it is like, I got to give so many to this person, and I have to give more to this person. And they were like, you don't have to. You don't have to. I'm like, I've got to fucking do it. Because also, I'm building a connection with these people. If I don't do it, that could burn many bridges in the future. If they're over there talking about me to some bigger guy, let's say Mr. Beast level, talks to them about me, and they're like, yeah, dude, this guy is great, but he doesn't hold up to his end of the bargain. He doesn't do this. He fakes some content and shit. I'm like, I don't want that ever to be a case. And that's why I would never fake content. And so I'm just like, I'm always about that. And like, same thing with prizes. If I tell you I'm going to give you a prize, I'm going to give you a prize. If it's a fucking dildo. By the way, Charles, your package is coming in the mail, just to let you know.
I was just gonna say, if anybody refuses their prize, you can just send that right on over to me.
Anyone refuse their prize, just
I'm pretty sure he's gonna that package that he's gonna get, he's probably gonna refuse it, so he'll send it to you.
Well, here's the funny part is, so I was gonna do a prank. I was gonna do a prank, and as I was gonna do a prank, I was warned not to. I was like, don't do the prank. I went, okay, cool. And I was like, but what if I do this instead? And so I've been working on a prank, and I found out it wouldn't work. So now I'm going to prank Charles instead. And I know he can hear me, and that's fine. So I have a package coming to his house. And I'm hoping he films it, but at least like covers my name and my address on the packaging. But I'm hoping he films it because it's going to be funny as shit. There's like this whole lead up to it, but it's going to be fantastic. I absolutely cannot wait for this package to arrive now. All I'm saying is dicks are involved.
So it's definitely, probably, maybe a dildo.
Definitely, probably not saying no.
It's a bunch of candy dick.
Dude, I ain't spending that kind of money on candy. Actually, that's a lie. I almost bought some for today, and I forgot.
All right, so let's keep going. So I think he's still got to do one, right?
Yeah, Charles, do you have $1 million butt question?
Not really, but I can think of one. $1 million. You can't play games that you actually like. You have to play games that you hate with a passion.
So you have to play like the most miserable games ever made. So instead of like, let's say like for Joseph's example, he loves Zelda. Now he's gonna have to play fucking Five Nights at Freddy's knockoff Zelda horror game now because it's the closest thing to Zelda.
Five Nights at Freddy's.
Because it's exact
I'd have to play
opposite kind of
Genshin
style.
Impact.
Well, listen.
Oh, you're okay. Because you were making it sound like it was the same game, and I'm like,
no, it's like he has to sit there and play something that's totally irrelevant and like a piece of shit. But
oh, so pretty much 98% of the original Nintendo games.
Dude, I just love the idea of like this is like an automatic like kind of magical thing that happens. So like let's say you accept $1 million, you get home, your boys call you, yo bro, you jumping into Warzone, and like, yeah, I'm hopping in, you load in, and it's fucking like this Roblox 8-bit knockoff.
No, you're loading into 007 from the NES.
Oh god, you're loading in to
I can't remember the last time I really truly hated a game. I have a love-hate relationship with Dota, but like that's because like any multiplayer game has like ups and downs. Like sometimes you win, you feel great. Sometimes you lose, you hate the game. So I guess I lean more into like I love Dota more than I hate it. But like I'm just trying to think like what's a game that I really hated playing. That's a hard one. I actually have a hard time answering that question.
Yeah, the same here. Because there's a lot of games that I dislike, but like there are other games like it that I enjoy. Like I've been a Destiny 2 player since D1, but I absolutely dislike the other game that's very much like it, that's free, which is I forget the name of it now. Warframe.
Oh, that piece of shit.
I absolutely hate it, right? But like I don't hate it enough to where like it doesn't exist to me, and I'm like, it's a free game, can't complain that much. But I would probably have to say that's just because there isn't too many games I despise. That would probably be the one I would be stuck playing if I had to do that.
Yeah, like I've never like hated sports games, but I've always hated them as a business because of the having to buy them every year because the previous year is rendered obsolete. So I have from like a business point of view, I have a seething hatred towards sports games. Like I know like some popular non-sports titles come out every year, but at least there's like a single player mode or something. There's redeeming value to still having that game in a library. Whereas like imagine having like FIFA 2008 through to 2023. That's a lot of just plastic trash. So there's hatred there that I have, but like I would never I don't hate the gameplay.
Well, and then here's something I want to bring up. So what if you start liking, like, you're meant to not play games that you like and you despise. What if, like, it's sports? Let's say foot or WWE fighting games. You hate them, but you load up this one and you get to load in as Logan Paul, and you're like, bro, kind of fucking fire. Once you think that, boom, it just self-destructs. And you can't play it anymore. And it's like, you can't even learn to enjoy the game that you despise.
But then you might get in the mindset of, like, you're just not going to play video games anymore.
Yeah. So, I don't know.
Because we don't play video games because we want to hate life. We play video games because it's a stress reliever.
Mm-hmm.
It's something that we enjoy, especially all of us who work 40 hours a week and come home. Our video games and our friends are like our stress relief, including like our mental support. Even though some people are very aggressive and they very toxic in that sense, but
Like, I have an abusive boss, but I'm self-employed, so
yeah, I heard your boss is a dick.
yeah, it used to just be
I
verbal
didn't get that
harassment.
at
Now it's
first,
everything.
and then it loaded. I was stuck on the fucking mushroom screen.
I definitely think it would have just been you'd stop playing video games at that point.
Yeah, because Jen and I will have like an hour to play something, and Resident Evil is a very popular one for us to do. And I was just thinking, like, there are so many games that are not doing their job as stress relief. Like, after a long day of difficult work, like, oh, what are we gonna do? Oh no, let's play Resident Evil.
So you thought you were stressed before you played this game?
Yeah, and then now we have a harder time getting to sleep. Although humble brag, Jen, my girlfriend, was actually in the new Legend of Zelda commercial. There's a montage of people playing it, and Jen was one of the people. It's officially on the Nintendo website, so I can talk about it now. But in researching for it, she had to start playing the Zelda series. So the only thing is, she's like, this game is really bright and colorful. It hurts my eyes. So she just can't win. She just can't win.
That's good. That's awesome for her, though.
Yeah, I gotta figure out how to change TV settings.
Well, hey, color control.
Well, hey,
color
with
correction.
Resident Evil, I can barely see anything, so it's really nice for my eyes.
My case would be... Sorry.
No, go ahead.
My case would be easy, because I fucking hate Halo 5, but I would still play it anyway, because it's a fucking Halo game.
Yeah, but I feel like, though, once you finally start, like, not hating it anymore, like, after you play, like, for the 5th time, you're like, dude, I'm finally knocking at the achievements. This is awesome. Self-destruct. It's like,
And
can't play it
also,
anymore.
Hatred is kind of its own form of catharsis. Like, there are things that people enjoy specifically because we hate.
Yeah, like masturbating.
No, that's just you,
I
Jordan.
can't say that I've statistically. Like, I'm not saying I've always liked it, but I definitely didn't always hate it. Definitely don't always hate it. Like, you see, like, TV shows that come on that people are like, oh, I can't stand this show. Then I, watch it for 30
Seinfeld.
minutes.
I hate Seinfeld.
Just to rip on it.
Oh my
Interesting.
God.
Go
That's
on.
like a staple for comedy. Like, not a staple,
God.
but it's like...
Oh my God.
Seinfeld's like something
It's
you
so-
gotta watch to understand, like, some modern jokes now. And, like, what? Okay, before you dive into that, guys, who's taking the money?
That's still
You know what?
a game that I kinda
I'll take
like.
the money just to
Okay.
like see what happens, because it's a whole journey. It's gonna be a whole journey. Be like, what do I truly hate that I will never reconcile?
Yeah, you know what? I'm kind of that too. Like, I would have to do it just to see what I hate the most. So I'm with him on this. I'm gonna have to take it.
Yeah, I can't do it. I haven't made $1 million yet. I can't take it. I love playing my favorite video games.
You were one hypothetically poor motherfucker. You're walking out of this like the most mentally well, right?
Yeah.
Everyone's like, I got $1 million, but I'm fucked now, and I'm like, I'm poor, but look
so
at
Joseph,
this.
how was Pilot Wings? It was okay. Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm still wondering, like, when he does get like rich and famous, and we become like the minions, like the rest of Mr. Beats guys. The stupid shit he's gonna have us do, guys. You're gonna jump off this building and hit this thing, but if you miss, you're never gonna walk again.
You better pay for my fucking insurance, man.
No, self-employed man. That shit doesn't exist.
No proprietor. Everybody's a contractor. Can't lose.
Yep. Now, for an example, we talked about it many times on the podcast. Whenever I become a certain milestone in my goal, I'm gonna make everyone I know conquer their fears, including myself. So, like Joseph being trapped in a cave, getting smaller and smaller and smaller. Charles will have to fucking I think get buried alive for X amount of time. I think we talked about. I'm gonna get Spartan kicked out of an airplane, and what's your biggest fear? You just wondering. Making lots of money.
Tons of it. No, I would have to say, yeah, probably jumping from a plane. That was the one thing I was never able to do. Like, I was able to bungee jump. I mean, it took a lot for me to bungee jump, but I would have to say, jumping from a plane, you're probably going to have to drop kick me.
Dude, that will be the perfect thing. We both do it. We both do, and as we're falling down, we're trying to film each other while screaming for our lives, strapped to a man whose dick is definitely up our cracks, and over there going, "Stop crying, film!"
I'd be like, I don't wanna.
I'm scared.
And then Jordan's like, I'm so aroused.
I don't know why the hell you can.
Is that a pen in your pocket? Nope. Okay.
I don't know why the hell you guys would be scared of freaking bungee jumping and shit. Freaking, I'd be glad to be able to do that. Freaking, nothing I'd be worried about is freaking the shit breaking or freaking the parachute not working.
They're called of fears, you dickhead. We don't control what we're afraid of.
Like freaking, I've been on top of a mountain before. I was freaking actually enjoying myself being up there. I've climbed fucking trees. I was more afraid of falling out of those and freaking dying because
Okay, guys, this is what we're gonna do for Charles. Is we're not gonna give him any supplies, any parachutes. We're gonna make him climb up one of those tall pine trees that usually bend and snap. We're gonna do that. We're gonna have a decent sized catch pad for him. So whenever theoretically it happens. Theoretically, when he falls and breaks his leg, it makes good content. And then we can be like, oh, I'm glad you weren't afraid.
Yeah, I'm changing my answer to I'm afraid of not being able to pay rent for the next 30 years. So if you want to, you're welcome to call me out on that anytime.
Yeah.
I'm also a little bit of an adrenaline junkie because I've been in a race car before, so.
Yeah, I get that. I mean, that's fine. Like, Brittany's the same way. Like, she loves flying planes. She used to fly planes, and she's trying to get her pilot's license again. She loves motorcycles. She used to have her motorcycle license. Like, she loves fast cars. That's why we own a fucking BMW that I hate. Still in the shop, by the way. It's 9 months going strong.
Hey, I got a question for you guys.
Yeah.
So what fears have you conquered in your life?
Oh, that's a good question. I'm gonna let you guys answer because my list is too long.
Asking a girl to freaking go out, hang out with me.
You know what? For one, that takes a lot of fucking balls to say in front of a bunch of assholes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, definitely. Joseph.
Public speaking. And I'm very comfortable public speaker now. I really built up
Good.
a skill for it. I honestly, I would even just like becoming independent, you know, moving out, having to become self-reliant, right? Like I've been living in an apartment for 3 years, and it's got its ups and downs, but I experienced the worst that I was afraid of in that sense because I was so terrified of like what would happen if I lost this job. But you know what? A week later, I guess I'm about to find out because I just went and quit that shit. So being in the storm really helped me figure out what I'm capable of and what I need to do and what's important to me.
So I have a few. One of them is actually kind of something very similar to that, public speaking. Because when I was younger, I wasn't a very social person, and I even went out to like shows and stuff. I was that kid, teenager, even a young adult. I would sit in the back. I would mind my own business. I wouldn't say anything to anybody. Then I got into bartending. I got into bartending. My very first bartending job was at a nightclub, and they were like, "Oh, you want to jump back here and help out?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure." And then I was like, "Wait, I gotta talk to people."
I gotta
What?
be social. Ugh.
Yeah, and like it took a lot, and but it actually wasn't the bar scene that got me like social. It was actually um, my love for Vampire the Masquerade, like a live action version, is because someone was like, "Hey, you have a lot of great ideas for like stories. We want you to be an ST." And I was like, "You mean there's like 30 people here?" Like, yeah. So how about you just come up with a couple characters and you know speak to them as a big group? And you know, I was stupid nervous, but eventually I got into it. Now I'm like, hey, I can talk to anybody. I can go out to any bar and be like wingman for days if I need to be. You know, things like that. So like that was one of them. The other one was I was really like nervous of being like trapped like someplace where I couldn't move. So I tried the whole like we decided to put myself in a box, and my friends nailed it shut. Well, the box wasn't exactly sealed correctly, and it rained. So I got rained on in a box for like 5 hours, and then after that, it never bothered me again.
Positive, massive positive. Okay.
Couple of other quick hits.
Yeah.
One, I remember being deathly afraid of like basically any horror game, which when I was growing up was Resident Evil or Doom. But I've been able to systematically go back and play all the games that used to scare me, and now I can play them without really much. Well, now it's like we enjoy the fear, right? Now we're playing it for the fun of being scared. And I gotta say, like for all the grief that Resident Evil 6 gets, that tunnel scene when the zombies are rushing Leon and Helena, and you can see their silhouettes in the thing, that unnerved me like crazy. That was beautiful. I loved that moment. It scared the shit out of me, but in the good way.
But yeah, and then like the other one wasn't more scared. It was just more of like getting over like minor fear things, and that is like fear of the which is a major one for a lot of people, especially being content creators, is field of rejection. You know, because you know you're like during 2020, like I did a whole thing about like during 2020 you couldn't do a whole lot, right? Because of COVID. So there was a lot of people that was like, you know what, we're going to become streamers. We're going to become content creators because I can't do anything else. Well, you know, let's say 90% of video gamers decided to make a Twitch. And you can see like how Twitch became popular during COVID and how much it's came back down. And that's just because like people, you know, realize like, oh man, there's a lot of work to be done in this. And some people are like, they just can't do it. They can't do the rejection of like, oh, I'm never going to be famous. I'm just not going to try. And then you got like us who like, we're not popular or huge or anything like that, but we try. We take the losses. We take the wins when we can get them. And, you know, we take the hate when we get it. And just, you know what? Thing.
Yep.
Like Jordan personally have seen some of the comments, positive and negative comments I get on a lot of my TikTok stuff. And I turn all the negatives into positives, and I expect it to, you know, stay that way. But there are days that I'm just like, why am I still doing this? But at the same time, I'm like, you know, I like coming here with you guys doing the thing. I fought like my own fear of rejection with it, and I keep going with it because now I'm just doing it because I enjoy doing it.
Nice.
If I make money off of it, cool. If I don't, cool too.
Yeah. Everyone has good fears. Like I feel like all I did was conquer like ones that generally everyone had. But for an example, I'm a very expressive person to say the least. So I didn't really have as much fear as like getting up on stage and talking because I was meant to do that. But going up to a stranger and start talking to them, that was a big issue I had. Was I'm now putting myself in a situation that I can't control, and I don't know how it's going to go. I don't know what's going to happen. Versus, like, if you get up on stage. You get up on stage, you're there to entertain someone. You're there to sit there and get laughed at, to make fun of, or whatever. You literally put yourself in the spotlight. So for me, it was like going up to people and talking to them. And almost every video I do has a way to shows like something I overcome or something I accomplished or something I conquered. So it's like the Valentine's Day video. Perfect example. I could not do that before. I went up, started just talking to people, and started just handing them stuff and giving people things like just in random points of time. that was the fear, is like going up to strangers and giving them stuff and having conversations. Conquered that. I had the fear of flying. I've never been on a plane, and I think it was more the fear of the idea of flying. And got onto the plane, I was shaking. I literally got to a point while hopping on the plane that I was about to turn around. It's weird to explain because it felt like 10 minutes, but it was like 2 seconds of time that went by. And I just felt like I was standing there arguing with myself the whole time. And I was like, I'm not getting on this fucking plane. I'm not getting on this plane. Why would I get on this plane? I could just turn around now. I could just pay back for the ticket. I don't give a fuck. And but in real life time, it was me going, stop. Okay, keep on going. But I got over that fear. It was actually quite fun. I really enjoyed it. If anything, it now makes me want to go on more flights. Then I had the fear of taking long trips by myself because I've recently just got my license, not even a year ago, and now I can legally drive. But with that being stated, I only driven like 10 miles to somewhere, 10 miles back, all this stuff, so I never really got to go further out distance. And then I had to drive 1,300 miles by myself in a box truck hauling a trailer that I've never hauled before. That got my fear over like that, because you have low clearances, you have places you can't get a trailer into, you have like all these difficult situations. Was able to conquer that. Then it was the fear of content creation. That was a big one of mine. I was like, I don't know where to start. I don't know where I am. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know how to get going. But what helped me was to keep going, because eventually you find who you want to be. Like, I was watching an old video of mine that's getting views right now, and it was like, dude, my editing was all right, but my get to go to it was just fucking bad. I was like, I'm over there like just being like so terrible. So those are some of mine. But fear of flying, fear of heights, fear of dying, and all those like little things, all the ones I accomplished. And I accomplished them fucking well, because it's all was in 1 year. I did all of this stuff in a year, and I was like, not too bad. I did all that in a year, so not gonna lie, pretty impressed with myself.
I think you knocked out like 3 of those just for that one video.
Yeah. It all happened so much. Everything happened like at rapid paces. Like, I literally got the phone call like a few days before I started filming that Winter Wonderland video saying, do you have a passport? No. Well, good, you don't need one. Okay. Yeah, because we need you to fly to Florida. Oh, okay, yeah, sure, yes, yeah, let's go. They made sure I had a passport. I was like, I don't have a passport. And they're like, well, you don't need one. I was like, oh, well. I thought I was off the hook, but no, still had to go. But I accomplished a lot, so I love taking, like, doing things to, like, push myself further and add the content creator, too.
I will say, for a guy who watched that video multiple times of the Valentine's Day one, is I'm very good at reading people's facial expressions, so you know when people are acting and when people aren't. That's why I'm not a fan of like a lot of those people that are like TikTok videos or whatever that are like they're giving away stuff, blah blah blah. You can clearly, or they're getting reactions from people. So a lot of them are like fake, because you can just tell by the way they're acting that it's fake.
Yep.
Right. But I could see in Jordan's face every time that he reached out to somebody, that rejection was there, and he was like, okay, cool. So when someone did accept it, he was like, oh, yeah, all right.
Yeah, when someone actually was like, yeah, I went, yes! I actually got, like, it was true relief. Like, I got turned down, dude. I got turned down like you turned down Seinfeld, dude. It was fucking terrible. Like, it was so bad. I got on my knees and everything. Yes,
if I do it again, I want there to be at least, like, one shot where it takes you, like, a full, like, 5 minutes to walk back towards the camera. Just like a long, slow take of just like
the walk of shame.
Yeah. You know what? I think I could do it. I think I could do it because towards the end of the episode, I'm gonna explain why I am doing another video kind of similar to that. But I kind of brought up Seinfeld because, you know, the set of comedy, like if you're into comedy, you know Jeff Dunham, you watch Jeff Dunham, you've watched Seinfeld, you watch the classic stuff to learn comedy, including you have to see some Adam Sandler, you know, you have to see Liar Liar. These are just comedy staples. So how the absolute fuck do you not like Seinfeld, you racist?
And let me just say, from my point of view, is I I've always been on good terms with Seinfeld. Like it's never been one of my favorites, but I do regard it pretty highly as like part of comedy's legacy, as Jordan stated. But like the comedy shows that I would say are like some of the, if you're interested in like writing comedy and learning comedy, Community, Arrested Development, probably The Office, I would say would be the three that I would recommend people check out. Yeah.
Yeah, because The Office
I
humor was clean.
Yeah, and you know they tried real hard to like keep it solid like all the whole time they did it. So a lot of Seinfeld stuff for me wasn't funny, but at the same time it was more about Seinfeld himself that I didn't particularly like. I didn't like his personality. I didn't like the way he acted. I didn't like. I think just because like he annoyed me when I was a kid, hearing his voice, and be like, how many guys can make jokes about bagels during the day? You know, I mean, what are you gonna do? I mean, I get that, you know, he's a respected comedian, and you know, there's, you know, a lot of people that love him as a comedian. Some people don't like him as a comedian. People actually think that he's the worst person to work for. You know, things like that. But that's not my problem. But I didn't like him as a comedian. His voice just makes me want to punch him in the throat.
What's the deal with bananas?
Yeah. Like, the only person on that show that was funny, and because he was over the top, was the one dude that always came through the door.
Kramer,
and the one bald guy. I can't think of his name.
George.
Those two.
George Costanza.
To me, the only reason that show made it was because of those two characters.
Yeah, I think that's okay to see, because they're all based off of like a lot of even Seinfeld's jokes are based off of like those characters. That's why the show Seinfeld was even created, was because of is showing like his group of friends. Obviously these are paid actors and stuff, but it showed like that's how his groups of friends are. So, and that's what made a lot of his jokes. Like when there was an episode he did in Seinfeld that he was like, you know, without these guys, you know, my jokes would be kind of bland. And it's like, it was true because he didn't have that social interaction. That's how he said he even got a lot of his jokes, was because of that social connection, that social interaction with his friends and stuff.
Right. Well, and here's another thing that bothered me about that is his comedic, his jokes were relying on other people to make him funny, not him in general. Because if you ever, a lot of his stand-up comedy was the exact same. You know, like a lot of them were the same jokes, or they were jokes that were like blended to be the same but different. I'm just like one of our generations, well, my generations, I should say. Comedians kind of does the same thing, which is oh my god, now his name just escaped me. Not Jeff Dunham, but before him, Dane Cook.
Oh, okay.
You know, Dane Cook was also like, he's a super funny guy. But if you were to like go back, you'd notice like a lot of his jokes were like remade and redone, and you know that gets tiring after a while. I mean, it's great that you can make old stuff new again, but you know, talent is.
Yeah, I would. What I would say is like a person's humor is consistent. So one example of this, and I say this with a lot of respect and admiration, but Bill Burr is somebody who's very funny to watch. But if I were to binge like all of his stand-up specials, after a while I'd be like, okay, Bill Burr, he gets, you know, upset at things.
Mm-hmm.
I need to take a break from watching him multiple times. So there's diminishing returns, I think, with basically any comic.
Yeah.
And like I said, back to Seinfeld, I just didn't particularly care for him because I didn't find his comedy like refreshing, and his voice was just enough to not do it for me.
I will say, just for some solidarity, there was only ever one thing that bothered me about that show, but other shows also bothered me about it, is like how often like there would be like new girlfriend characters, and that it's supposed to be like a running joke where like, you know, he tries to date somebody, it doesn't go well, moves on to somebody new. And it always made me wonder like what like how uncomfortable maybe some of these female actors had to be with it. And it's not just Seinfeld, right? This is like a whole industry that does this.
Yeah.
And that always worried me, because I would hate to not be able to enjoy something anymore, knowing that like someone's either reputation or was wronged or harmed in any way, or just oh, that was the height of my career. I was the 18th girlfriend in a long line of girlfriends.
Yeah, but in the defense of that, though, a lot of like TV shows in that era, that's what they did. Like random boyfriends, they'd be in there for like half a season or even a whole season, and something crazy would happen where they'd move away to another country or something like that, and you'd never hear from then they'd never acknowledge that character again. That's what was very unsettling. If someone's like, if a character that they kept for like, to say, a whole season, like if someone dated someone for a whole season, that was a big deal back then, because usually it's episodes or like maybe a month's worth of episodes or something like that. But it just bothered me that they would pretend that like that whole character just never affected them after that again. And that's what kind of bothered me with like people trying to say, oh, this is like like you're supposed to really feel how this feels. Sure, we're gonna feel how it feels. Right.
Interestingly, that would make Seinfeld one exception to that rule, because one of the core design philosophies behind Seinfeld was no hugging, no learning. So these characters never felt the weight of their actions ever. That was by design, and it was a contradiction to a lot of these other sitcoms that, like you're saying, like they carry the weight of all these other actions, but for some reason this particular thing never went with them. So like in the last episode of Seinfeld, the conversation that Jared has with George mirrors one of the very first conversations that they had in like the first episode, indicating that these characters, it's the end of the show and they still have not learned a thing. And that was by design. So whether that's an altercation or a relationship, they were never supposed to grow.
Yeah, and the one thing that was kind of interesting about that too is they built that in to the New Yorker personality. Like this is how New Yorkers act. So that's how they were trying to portray those characters of like, we're New Yorkers. This is just how we are. So like that was always an interesting thing to notice about shows like that are like specifically for people from like New York City or upstate New York or Jersey, or that was terrible New Jersey voice, whatever.
New Jersey.
Just gonna let it slide.
Yeah. I'll allow it.
But I get where you're coming from with that. So you don't hate Seinfeld or do you hate Seinfeld as a comedian then?
Yes. It's him in general that I just don't particularly care for.
Okay. No, I mean
$1 million, but watch Seinfeld.
$1 million, but you have to live with Seinfeld as his younger self.
No, I don't care.
He's like, fuck the money, burn it in front of me. I don't care. I'm not doing that. I think
you could take the other $3 million that I just got and have it, and I'd not be around them.
Okay, so now let's bring it back. We have $2 more $1 million but questions. I'm going to ask you guys a $1 million but question. Then we are actually going to take a card from $1 million but the card game. That is still available on roosterteethstore.com. So, hey, we're using the title is literally what they made. So you know what? I gotta reach out whenever I can. So, $1 million, a lot of money. But every time you sit down, the object moves 3 feet away from you.
The object that I'm sitting down on?
Yes. So let's say your chair. Anytime you would go to sit down, you have to now like lunge back to hurry up and catch it. But no matter what, it will move. So if you sit down in your car, sit down, and guess what? The car will move. And so it's like, it hits you back, and you're like, what the fuck? And so...
Well, I guess I'm never drinking and driving.
I don't know what happened. The car just started moving. So,
just a disclaimer: don't ever drink and drive.
No, don't do it, you fucking idiots. But yeah, so let's say you're at the gym, you're busting out some pumps in. Okay, you bust out some pumps, you put it down, you go to sit down on your towel rack, the whole fucking rack just goes, and it moves, boom, falls on your ass. And it's always 3 feet.
If I were to like sit down on my bed though, like my bed
your
would
bed's
have
going
to,
through
like,
the wall, motherfucker.
well, I'm gonna run out of that money pretty quick just from repairs. Yeah, no, I don't think I can take the money.
But okay, but for every $1 million with the $10 million cap, you can add $1 million on, but it adds an extra foot. So if you win $10 million, guess what? That thing's moving 13 feet across the floor.
But I see you said sitting, but if I just make sure that I like, I would climb up on a small stool, and then I would launch myself back immediately into the lying position, and then I would
that
roll
would
out
be a
of bed,
loophole.
so
Yeah,
I never have to sit.
But imagine getting in an Uber. You would have to sit there and go, open the doors. I'm ready. You ain't. To the car.
I'm just imagining getting on the bus. You know,
Oh,
innocents
God.
are gonna be hurt.
Dude, at that point, you're the guy that stands up. An old woman's like, I
I could
saved
just-
you a
yeah.
seat. And you're like, trust me, I'm good.
I could just stand on the bus. That would be a way to.
So, I mean, you could live most of your life standing, but like when you sit down, going to the bathroom, I feel like would be the hardest part because you could squat, and your legs though. Imagine like after a month of doing this, your leg muscles are gonna be good because you're just gonna learn to squat. So you're gonna be hovering over the toilet going.
But I believe like the squatting position is what makes it move.
So I need to just like straight up just like relocate to Japan because they got the squatting toilets, but they have a culture of not sitting on chairs and they just sit on the floor. So unless Earth counts as an object, I'm pretty sure I just sit on the floor because you said the object moves, but if there's no object and I'm just sitting on the floor, does the whole floor count as an object now? Where does
Well,
the
no,
object
because
begin and end?
I feel like with like it would be like the pillow then you're sitting on because a lot of times you sit on a rug or a pillow or stuff like that. I feel like that would then slide across the floor. Now, yes, you can, but mind you, once you go to sit back up or whatever, it's going to move again. So it's pretty much trying to avoid you constantly. So you have to like hurry up and sit down on. Once you sit down on the object, it's not gonna move. So. But
I'm gonna say that's too inconvenient for me, so you can keep the money.
Joseph?
Yeah, I mean, you know, I thought all the hentai was enough incentive to go to Japan, but now that it's the only place that I can live, I'm gonna go.
So you're taking it?
Yeah, I'll take it.
I don't know if you just heard me. My thing freaked out there for a second, but if I had to freaking do that, and was trying to sit on a toilet, I'd rather just do it lumberjack style and just take it and shit and piss outside in the woods.
Yeah, 100%. Like that is on the table. It's just it would be a massive inconvenience for you, because then every time you go outside, you're gonna have to move into the middle of nowhere just to sit there and go, huh, huh, huh.
I would be such a liability at dinner parties.
As long as I,
Excuse me, guys. Where's your backyard?
as long as I have toilet paper, I don't care.
That's fair. So you would take it?
Like if it means I wouldn't be able to be living in a house ever again, I could just go get a cheap tent from Walmart.
There we go.
Fair
$1
enough.
million only to downgrade and be stuck in a tent. Shitting in the river.
But well, no,
Feel
I
like you're
mean
getting screwed, son.
he would downgrade to a tent, but in the boat though, I mean. He could buy a huge property, build a house. It's just he cannot sit down anywhere in his house, or just put like springs up on the walls so every time he hits the
what
point.
I might just get like a wheelchair, because that would cut down.
You make yourself handicapped.
Well, if I accept that money, I'm dealing with a handicap, all right.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. You just have the whole thing there, so whenever you had to go to the bathroom, it's there.
Yeah.
Okay. All
no,
right.
that once again, you guys are thinking of good solutions for it, but I mean, just saying, $1 million. So I wouldn't take it. No. I need to sit from time to time. I love standing, but if I need to sit, I don't want to try to chase whatever I'm sitting down on. It's just what it is. So
You're also clumsy as fuck.
hey, go fuck yourself. Okay. Awesome.
We can.
I am. Feel free to check me out at onlydaddies.com.
Dick.
Yeah, that does it. I've heard this enough times. I am seeing if Only Daddies is a real thing.
Don't put your safety on. Put your safety on.
We're all gonna be living in freaking mansions.
Oh,
One's gonna be
right.
living out on the street.
Well,
Oh
I
hell yeah!
cannot
Because
wait
I
to
have
see
not
what this
taken
does.
any of these $1 million yet.
Oh, gentlemen, I cannot wait to see what happens to my ads for the next little while.
Next podcast. Keep me updated. Okay. we are going to play one very special episode of $1 Million, but it's going to be from the card game it is itself. The reason why we wanted to make this $1 Million But episode is to announce I'm going to RTX 2023. I'm going to Austin,
Ooh.
Texas. I'm going to go to RTX, Texas. I've already got the tickets. It's a whole weekend, and there are going to be many reasons of why I'm going. I'm going to have to give people stuff. I'm gonna buy a big Pello loaf of bread with the whole intentions of Charles went gray. With the whole intentions to have everyone sign my loaf. Because it's fucking funny to make everyone going, sign my loaf. So I'm going to bring this Pello that's like a big bread loaf. And I'm gonna do like these whole entire tasks of stuff, and including meeting my mentor, and then to also sit there and ask for a job that I'm hoping that gets turned down because I don't want to go to Austin. But it's like, make it a task to do. It puts me way out of my comfort zone. So that I'm excited. I get to go to Austin, Texas, and actually meet the person that I've been wanting to meet since I started YouTube. The reason I do YouTube, that is Jeff Ramsey. He has been the reason why I make YouTube. Is
he one of Rooster Teeth?
Yes, he is one of the founders of Rooster Teeth. And
who did he voice in Red vs. Blue?
Griff.
Oh,
that you can see a lot of resemblance when I'm being a dickhead. So it's like, it obviously makes a lot of sense. But yeah, Achievement Hunter and Rooster Teeth are the reasons I do any kind of film creation. The reason I wanted to get into acting, the whole reason. So I wanted to meet Jeff Ramsey for so long. And it's like, I will finally have a chance to meet him and just thank him for everything he's done for me in ways he won't ever know. So super excited. It's going to be in the video that will come up in like, I think it's like September is when it will be released. So can't wait for that. But with that being stated, let's go ahead and pull out some cards from $1 Million But. So we're going to go grab a random one so we can say this is not rigged in any sort of way. Okay, $1 Million But every time you cut yourself. Pull out the next one.
Oh, I thought there was more to it than that.
No,
every time you cut your...
Well, there's more to it, but it's on two different cards. So, like, for example, I can't use this one, but it's like, this is $1 Million, but every time you, etc., you pull out another one, and it shows, like, what you do. Okay. So, I can't use that one.
Too violent?
Yes, can't say the words. So, okay, $1 Million, but every time you cut yourself, you swap bodies with the person to your left. Would you just start living life in someone else's body and never return to your own?
Yep.
And then never see that money.
You would never see it because it would go directly into like your bank account. And you're like, I am this person.
Okay, my answer is no. I tell you. So earlier today, I have to go to my parents' area to visit my my tax person.
Okay.
And so it made sense to just visit my parents, and my parents decided that they were going to try to repair the chairs in the kitchen on their own. And they did a pretty good job, except that like I was adjusting myself in the seat, and one of the nails, actually all of the nails were too long for the chair. And so I just like put my hand down, like, oh! And so I punctured myself. So I would have then swapped bodies with my mom under these circumstances.
Oh my god.
So you see, the trouble is you never know when life comes at you. That's why I'm saying no.
Yeah, and then you're going to have to cut your mom just to get back in your own body.
Yeah, I could never do that.
So, yeah, I think this is just a huge inconvenience, but honestly though, I feel like that would be like a good bank robber too. Being like, oh, and I get away, cut my finger. I'm not one of the people. Oh my god, I've been held hostage after hiding the money. So I'm like, okay, cool. And the guy's like, I never did this. So I don't know. I kind of honestly, I think I'm taking the money. I think I could get away with so much bullshit.
Finally, he has $1 million.
I have $1 million that I want to do evil with.
And he's signing up.
I was gonna say all the other ones are like, I need to do good, We finally get one that he picks from the card game,
the game.
that he's doing for evil.
Well, it's not like for evil, but it can be used for evil. Like, but there's so many, like, I can see so many benefits. Just being like, dude, imagine being on the football team and like you need to get a win, and you're like, not a problem. Just be apart from the guy like in front of you, like 372. Huh? Prick yourself. You turn into them, and you're like, oh no.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna say no because I'm afraid there'd be, something would happen to where like I would not be able to get back in my own body, or be in a body that I don't want to be in.
Dude, imagine you're doing it a little bit rough in the bedroom, and it like cuts, but it keeps cutting.
That's also what I'm afraid of. Because
stop!
not that you guys know, but I come from a kink community, so I cannot. You can keep that. I'll
May or
keep
may not have worked that one out on my own.
Yeah.
Dude, you end up becoming the camera guy because he's to your left, and an angle, you just go,
Oh God, that's why. Why do I do that?
So, am I the only one taking this?
Charles?
Depends on who's on my left.
Nope.
Well, that's not how the game works.
Yeah, it sort of does, but
Well,
you
yeah,
can live
you can
have to
sit
live
there,
the
but
rest of your life like this.
Yeah,
so.
it would be the rest of your life. Is it the rest? Yeah, the rest of your life. Yeah.
Probably not, because it's too much of a risk.
I'm the only one, and
You're
I
the only
immediately
one.
said for doing it for evil, so ugh. Who's the real Mr. Beast? I think we have enough time to cram in one more from the game $1 Million, but this is coincidental, but $1 Million, but every time you sit on a toilet, an authorized SWAT team shows up to I read execute, but it's the thing where they grab you. What's that word?
Arrest you?
No, extract.
Extradite?
Extract.
Oh, extract.
An authorized SWAT team shows up to extract you from your current location. So now I think there's might be time delays on this because it says every time you sit down on a toilet, an authorized SWAT team. So these guys are just sitting down in the break room one day, sipping on their tea. Oh, this is so good. Wah, wah, wah. Joseph is sitting down. I repeat, Joseph is sitting down on the toilet at the local
the way
Pablo
this works
Tacos.
is that these guys are like, they're on call 24/7 now. They are waiting constantly.
Yeah, you
They're
just have a
rotating
SWAT
shifts.
team waiting, like, he's gonna sit down on the toilet. He's gonna sit down on the toilet. And it's like, and I think it also counts, like, if you decide to make a shit bucket in the woods. Like, once you officially sit down there and it's, like, your toilet, I think it would still count, and it's like...
So,
He
I'm
said
going to say
that
yes,
bucket.
because
No,
again,
no.
I can just go to Japan and never see a toilet again for as long as I live.
See, I think he's got a point. We all just need to move to Japan, and all of our problems are gone.
All your problems are gone
Lumberjack.
until like one person. Well, yeah, you were saying about the lumberjack method. Until one person sits there and says, "Oh no, you'll be sitting on toilet," and then it's like, "Oh no," because now these motherfuckers are flying from the U.S. to Japan, so now they can come in a month from now. You were just over there going, have a nice breakfast, and it's just like, "Come here," and then take you back to the U.S.
But if these fellas are dedicated and they can only be so far in order to respond right away, I probably have a chance to like meet them and like get to know them. And, you know what I mean? It's like maybe they can take me to another location, and by that it'll just be like, I don't know, the lounge downstairs.
I love the idea that you get to know them and then they just end up pranking you. And we're being like, "Oh no, sit on the couch," and then it's like you sit down, and it's actually a toilet underneath the cushion. And then they're like, "We got him!" And then fucking brings you back, brings you back in the middle of the field, drop you off, drive away. I
just gotta say, this
scenario.
shit we come up with is absolutely insane, and the
Dude,
fact that no one smokes here is, well,
Some people eat, but no one. Well, no, some people smoke too. But not on the job. Not on the job.
not on the job.
Very
Nope.
respectful that way. But $1 million every time you sit down on the toilet, a authorized SWAT team will come and extract you from your current location. Are you
You
taking
know what? Yeah, I'll take it.
I'm 100% taking it because I just think it would be funny to be like live one day and like it's like a subathon and you're done with it and then you're just like and you just move your toilet and just sit down going, guys, watch this. Sit. Come here,
Not to mention how useful of a party trick is this.
Yeah.
Where if I'm in an awkward situation, I want to get out. I just sit in the toilet, and then the SWAT team pulls me out, kicking and screaming. Like, wow, that guy's kind of badass. He got the SWAT team pulling him out. So this could be used.
and you play it up like you're one that you're about to be taken, and you're like, guys, I actually work with the government, and they're like, no, the fuck you don't. And it's like, watch this. You sit down on the toilet.
I know,
and
sick as that'll make your head spin.
Kick in the fucking door, and you're like, it's time for me to go.
All I can think is that scene at the end of Superbad where McLovin's getting arrested.
That's where I got the idea, yeah.
Like, that's all I'm seeing, and it's the greatest thing ever. So, yes, I'll definitely take it.
Are we all taking it? I think
so.
I think so.
That's what I call the $1 million butt.
That's why I was like,
I quit. I'm out.
And with that being said, thank you all for joining our $1 million butt episode. It was a ton of fun. I greatly appreciate everyone for joining us on our podcast. This podcast was brought to you by Anchor, your all-in-one platforming needs. Thank you guys so much. I have a notification on my screen because Facebook fucking sucks cock. With that being said, goodbye, everybody.